Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Good evening.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I'm just seconds. For some reason, there's a little bit of technical stuff going on.
That's all right. Having a little moment of a technical difficulty. It's all good.
We're on.
Okay, thumbs up. Here we go. Take two. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well actually. So I'm like, it's one of those moments. What are we gonna talk about, Bev? Because I haven't got a clue. Just saying. But I know you've had
Well,
some interest. I did have an interesting interaction today. I attended a mediumship circle as a mentor, so that was good. And then I know you had your meetup this morning, and then got to watch your grandson play t-ball. Is it t-ball now still?
yes, T-ball, baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you want to share about?
Gosh, there's so many things, and when you spend so much time talking to so many people, I will, and it's like I have to remind myself. I told Freeman on the way home, I'm like, I have a fulfilling schedule because you've talked about that. And
Right.
today was a schedule because I had a couple hours for the meetup, and then I had a couple of appointments to see, and then here I am trying to manage my time for everybody else and not managing my time for myself. Honestly, that's what we can
Yep.
talk about right now. So it leaves me in a space of being tired. Now, if I don't have time for myself, now I'm not having time for a relationship. It, not saying I don't have time for a relationship, but it puts a little tension or a struggle on a relationship sometimes when you're not taking the time for it. And that relationship is with ourselves too. And it's like remembering to do that. So it's like, do I take time to put it on my calendar? And this is something I've been working through where I'm not rushing around all the time because that's what I've been doing. So I did it all day today, going to hurry up and get to the class. And it's like, it's not class, it's group. It's such a, gosh, group is so, I love it so much because there's no structure to it at all. Sometimes we'll have I've had someone come in and we'll do guided meditation. I've had, where we're just sitting in the group talking. There was 10 of us today, so that was nice. And I'm thinking, holy smokes, I'm gonna outgrow that space because I had probably 5 or 6 people that couldn't make it today. And if everybody would have shown up, and I know we're reaching a capacity, but that's also awesome because I get to see such growth from so many different people. I get to see and hear the stories of people's lives that they're experiencing their lives and how they're seeing their current lives through from those traumas and those, the early lifetime. It's almost like a different lifetime altogether when we're talking about a lot of this stuff. So it's like I get to experience a lot of that stuff and sit back and just listen and how everybody interacts with each other in that space and how we have all these confirmations going on all the time. There's so much, and then everybody appreciating everybody for showing up and just it's just such a loving space. I think everybody should be doing this stuff. I think everybody should be you should be opening up I say should be, you could be opening up your house and having conversations. I've talked to so many people that say, gosh, I wish I had like-minded people in my life. They're out there, guys. They're all over the place. But it's like, are we allowing ourselves to be out there to have the experiences? Are we showing up? Even someone else that you had talked to today, you had sent in, and they had shown up. So like they had showed up for themselves. So it's like it's amazing to see all this stuff, but it's like, again, I'm back to the like-minded stuff. We have people to talk to, and it's like it's the same thing with anything. What energy are you putting out there? Are you putting out there like, I can't find any, there's no like-minded people out there and I'm miserable and I need, you're going to bring whatever you're putting out. And so and I'm hearing the conversations with the people just being so, like I said, so grateful that they have each other, that we can have these conversations, because sometimes they have family members that don't get them. They're not being supportive because they don't understand why are you so different? Why can't you be the same person that you used to be? And I think we we go through those lives and we have those struggles, but it's like some people are moms and their kids can't understand where they're coming from. You know, I want my mom back. This conversation I've heard a couple of times, and it's like, you want your mom back that would sit and have judgmental conversations and have a couple of cocktails and, you know, do those things. But it's like, that's not the mom anymore. That's not the same mom. And it's like, you know, just it's interesting to process when you're seeing things from so many different perspectives. And it reminds me to be forever grateful and thankful for where I'm at right now, because my family does support me. I have an amazing, awesome boyfriend that supports me through all the stuff. And when I'm struggling with my own shit, I can talk to him about it and we kind of bounce things off. Even when I know I'm being ridiculous, I feel like I'm being ridiculous. I have those conversations and it's like I'm not being in a space of being judged. I'm being in a space of being loved and nurtured. And let's walk through this. Let's talk through this. So there's a lot, like, man, I slept so freaking good last night, and thank God I did. I think I told you that's this morning. Yesterday I had my grandson over, and it's like, I can't even tell you, it's probably a handful of times he told me how appreciative he was here. He was so thankful he got to come hang out. I was trying to find a video of the kids when they first got this Jeep that was given to them, what year it was. And I found all these videos of the kids when they were little. And it's like, it just fills my heart up so much. And then to sit and watch Colton, like watching these videos of him when he was little, singing happy birthday. And he's like, okay, I'm really tired now. But in his little baby voice, you know, all these little things and his glasses and him playing with Vivian, and then him sitting here watching all this stuff and giggling out loud, you know, it just kind of led up to today. And to me, 420, it's an auspicious day. It's not just about other things that people think about, but it is like, it's such a planetary lineup. There's so much stuff going on, and I'm not the person to talk to you about this stuff, because I just know I get grasp of the information. I know, like, this is a good day. I've known this day was coming, and it was a good day. And so for me, it has been fulfilling, but it's recognizing and being in that space of appreciation. And even watching the people talking today, oh my God, my eyes were watering. It's like, I have felt so much love. And then I had to remind everybody, because it's the same thing when we're in group. How can I get better than this? Because I'm driving to work this morning. I don't even like to call it to work. I'm driving to meet up this morning, and I'm feeling all these emotions, and I'm feeling so elated. And I stopped and asked myself, how can it get better than this? My eyes are watering, and I'm like, it can't get any better than this. Like, how can it possibly? And it's like, but the whole day has been very fulfilling. I've had awesome people. I got to go watch my grandson, and it's in here we are. I've made it home, and we're now having our little chat.
Yeah, there's so many things that you talked about that we could go in so many different avenues. One of the things I am hearing a lot is support and the like-minded. In this group today, there was four other ladies that were in attendance, and that was one of their things, is needing support. I did recommend them go to your meetup. They needed to text me to get the information. They haven't done that yet. So if they show up saying they talked to me, that's why. So
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So but I am hearing it more and more. And I'm in numerologically, I'm in a 1 year, which is about foundation. And personally, I've been kind of struggling with that these first few months. I'm like, well, what does that look like? Right. I'm like asking the universe, and it just keeps coming at me, support, support, support. And so it's like, okay, and now what does that look like? So I started doing a Facebook Live each week. And so I'm just kind of going from there. I mean, I've had to learn to, going back to a full-time job, learning to manage time, right? Time management, to be able to work full-time job, which also requires some extra hours, and still do what I do, the teaching and all that, and coaching and stuff. And so I've had to kind of pull back a little bit with the things I do, but man, there's so many people that are seeking an environment where they feel actually welcomed and not judged, I think, and feeling connection, a community, collaborations, um, and being able to provide that. Yeah, just like you said, it's vitally important that people are having conversations that are different. The other thing is, you said, yeah, you talked about family dynamics. Here's something I got to experience recently. A couple weeks ago, I got an email saying that a person who is, I'll just say Susie. I'll change names. Susie, who's been a student off and on for about 6, 7 years, not consistent, comes and goes. It'll be months. There's been years. I haven't, like, a couple years. I mean, with COVID and all, there was a couple years I didn't see her or talk to her. And then all of a sudden I had a class last October. There she was, right? So, and then she proceeds to tell me some of the things that had happened in her life, and that a change in a relationship. She had to, like, kick her husband out. And I mean, if you know me, you know me. I do not pry for information. I'm like, if you want to share what's on your heart, share. If we can support you, we will. I mean, I don't pry for information. That's not my business. And if you don't want to share it, then don't share it. I'm not asking you to. So anyway, she only shared what she wanted to share. And the last interaction through text, she was going to attend a class and sent me a text saying she wasn't going to make it because she was going to California. Fine. Hadn't talked to her since then. Right? I got a lovely email from her daughter saying that I need to deny her coming to my classes, and if I don't, there'll be repercussions, like a lawyer involved and all this stuff. Well, first of all, I know some of their family dynamics, and I'm like, and I have the insurance coverage. That's not the concern. I think when I sat with it, it wasn't something that, like, threw me off guard or I got upset. Now, if this would have been probably a couple of years ago, I probably would have been distraught and lost sleep. But I'm like, yeah, not doing that. So super proud of myself. So that's just a check-in, right? We talk about those check-ins. And every once in a while, something will come up to see how you're doing within yourself. That was one of them. And I read it. I was like, isn't that interesting? And just noticed how I felt in my body. And I received it. I was like, okay. And then I sat with it. And what came to me was, then this is what you were talking about a moment ago, that what I feel is that Susie, the student, is no longer allowing her family to use her and abuse her and take advantage of her. And the family doesn't like it because she's changing and she's telling them no. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what their conversations are. Again, last communication I had was through text in January. So, and I had this conversation with a lady who is like a Christian coach for couples. And so I posed the information like I just shared here with her. And that's without me giving my input or how I felt or how I was perceiving what was actually going on. That was her immediate reaction too. She's like, oh yeah, it just sounds like she's creating boundaries and her family doesn't like it. And she's going through some changes and it's all your fault. And we run into that too, that when the family members come to church and they start making changes and stop creating those boundaries and things, and now we're a cult. So she's like, nah, don't worry about it.
It's good to have this perspective though, because this would never have ever crossed my mind, ever.
That's wild.
But because like I said, I've got that support. And then when I'm hearing other people in that we're talking and stuff like that, and they're telling me this, their family wants them back, and it's like, but all the things I'm doing are loving, right? If they stopped and said, hey, all these things I'm doing are loving, I'm more loving. I don't drink. I don't go out and party. You know where I'm at. You know, I'm more grounded. I'm more, you know, I'm present here with your conversation. I mean, there's a million things that are happening, but it's like I would never. That's just so blows my. I'm just kind of taken aback, actually.
Yeah.
And I
And
guess that probably would be how you would have felt when you received that. Like, wait, what? What?
I
That's for me? Like, what's going on here right now?
And you know what? Here would if it would be more meaningful if the person who sent me the email was which was the daughter, and the daughter said that me and my sister-in-law and brother are all in agreement that my mother needs to have nothing to do with you or this other establishment, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, I was like, you know what? If you had attended my classes over these past several years, I don't think you'd be saying that to me.
And,
Because
and
you
it's
would be making changes in your life and you wouldn't be in your misery.
exactly. And I don't know if it's like a defensive thing, but it's like she's a grown ass woman. She can do whatever she wants.
She's over 70.
Yeah, she's a grown up.
Yeah. She's a big girl. Now I'm like,
It's funny how, but it's funny because it's not. Is it too different from me having my emotions sometimes about my grandkids because I'm wanting to control something that's not even. It's not even my stuff. It's not even for me to control. So it's like it's kind of a good thing for me to hear this stuff because I don't want to be in that space too where I'm trying to run somebody else's life. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I do. I do.
So that's a lot to, that's a lot.
I am having a major
Yeah,
practice in that in my life as well, just saying.
gotcha.
I'm like, you just want to grab the phone and send that text, right?
Well, that's what our notebooks are for, right?
Yeah,
That's what our notebooks are for, to handle that kind of stuff. And I'm bringing that up because I wrote it down on here to one of my savings grace right now is my notebooks.
yeah,
When I have so much emotion and I have all this stuff going on, I just sit down and I write down I'm taking dictation language. So I'm writing down all the shit, stuff you don't even want to repeat to people. And
yeah,
I'm writing it all down, but then I'm burning it afterwards.
yeah,
Because guess what? I don't have to carry it anymore. And I've been telling people to do it for so long, but it's my practice now. And then I listened to this, her last name's Choquette. She's talking about 5 minutes every single day. You get your notebook and you just sit and write, because now when you're taking dictation or when you're getting that information, you're hooking yourself up to that intuition, and now you're receiving that information. So even regarding this woman, she's got her own intuition. And the kids, they have their own intuition, and it's for them to kind of check in with themselves. That's up to them to
yeah,
check in with themselves and see, why am I having a reaction like this? What's really going on here? And the thing is, probably maybe she was a controller when she was younger, when she was raising the kids. Now the kids are adults and they've married other people that are from their child traumas. And now they're all in agreement because they feel like this is something that's negative, but they're not, they're looking at it from that child trauma still,
right.
potentially.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Spot on. And then they need somebody to blame because things are changing.
Yeah. And it's scary because when you're a kid, you know, think when the rug gets pulled out from under you, it's awesome. It's kind of throws you off completely. You don't know what to do with that
Yeah.
because you weren't prepared that way when you've got someone that's always controlling you when you're a kid.
Right.
So they grow up. So to me, there could be a lot of mirroring going on there, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like, so gosh, when you say that, when I say all that stuff now, I actually feel better. And it's kind of like, it's easy to kind of step back because this is their stuff.
Yeah.
They're reaching out to someone else and that's giving them that empowerment, they think, but it's really actually cutting their own hands off in a lot of ways. And
Well, and they're giving the power to me.
they are.
If they're blaming me, then they're saying I have the power in controlling the mom. And I'm like, first of all, I don't want that power. But second of all, that's not a true statement. So um you need to take your own healing into your own hands, your own power into your hands, because you I don't want it. I don't never claim to want it.
Yeah.
I want to empower people to heal, to feel good about themselves, to experience joy. And the way we do that, some of the ways, I mean, we couldn't go into all of them. We'll be here all night. Boundaries, saying no, stop overcommitting, stop being a people pleaser, stop being a fixer, stop being a control freak, and learn a forgiveness process, um, implement compassion. When, to me, when you do a forgiveness process, compassion follows automatically. Like, that's a given. That's from my own experience. And you start experiencing joy and love for humanity. That's a major thing. That is not Amy Wade controlling some woman, telling her how to talk to her family. That is not it. That's a woman saying, I no longer want to be abused. I no longer want you talking to me in a way that is uncomfortable. I want to experience joy. I want to be with my dogs and love on them and have a beautiful day without these conversations that are unhealthy. Those are her choices, not, did she learn that information from me? Most likely, but not just me, because I'm sure there's other avenues of material that she has read or heard. But the fact that she's even implementing it, I'm like, good for you. I, again, don't know that that is what is happening. That's what I'm sensing. Good for you. Good for you for using your voice and saying, fuck you, you're not treating me like this anymore.
Yeah.
So
it blows my mind how we can lay stuff out. Like, we didn't know what we were going to talk about. We just laid a bunch of stuff out there just like that.
I know. It's just, I love the way that works.
Me too.
And then just, well, my Facebook Live last week was about head stress and overwhelm, which included information about time management. And the one thing I will say about that is, if you don't create your calendar, somebody else will. If you
100%.
don't figure out what you want to do with your time in a day, somebody else will fill it in for you. That's when you get the phone calls of, hey, can you do this? Hey, I need you here. Hey, right? And then that's the, what I was saying a minute ago about boundaries. No is a statement. No, I'm not available because I have a fulfilling schedule. Like the other day, you know, people, hey, you want to go and hang out with us? And but I'm like, no, thank you. Thanks for thinking of me. Keep me in the loop for future stuff, but not today, because I have stuff to do. And if I don't do it, that I gotta fill that in the next day when I already have stuff planned, right? And then when you keep putting things off, it's like, now that's where the overwhelm comes in, because you're committing to do things for other people and not committing to yourself. And then you have to put yourself on to the next day or the day after, wherever you can fit it in. And now you start beginning to feel that stress of, oh my gosh, when am I going to get this done? Like, I don't have enough time. So I don't want to play that game anymore. I'm like, no, thank you. I mean, most of the time I'm being invited to go sit in the bar while they drink, and it's the same conversations. I'm like, I'm just not into that. We're having the same conversation. We had this conversation earlier today at the office, and now we're having the same conversation again at the bar, and then we're gonna have the same conversation again tomorrow at our meeting. You know, it's like, can we have a conversation and move on? We know what the problem is. We need a solution so we can move forward. Can we do that? Like, I have, my patience with that is like slim. And I just am learning more and more how much less I want to spend in that space of rehash. I'm like, okay, great. Well, I did this the other day. Something happened, and it was not at all what our conversations were, you know, that what if avenue. Well, what if they do this, right? And so some more information was presented, and it was kind of completely opposite of what the thought process was. And so I said, all right, what is the lesson here? And I just started talking. Like, I asked the question and then I started answering it. And there were two other people in the office. And I was like, the lesson is, we need more information before we start judging and criticizing and thinking these other thoughts. So from now on, we get something, we need more information. We need more information. We need more information before we start making that judgmental call. And they just looked at me and they're like, yeah. And then the subject changed. Like we went on to something else. It was like, I just don't, it's like, I don't have time. Listen, I'm almost 54 and who knows how much longer I'm going to be here. Right. So why am I going to spend time rehashing a conversation 50 fucking times? I don't have time for that.
I agree.
I got people out in the community that need support and I need to figure out how to do that.
Nice.
So I can laugh about it because it's humorous. I just find that we are very humorous people. We're comical. I mean, I just have this whole scenario created in my head about what our guides and angels and everything do when they're watching us. Like, wait, what? Why is she doing that? We need her over here. Anyway, a little humor.
It is. It is.
So, but yeah, that's about the highlights of my week as far as well, that email I got 2 weeks ago, and I posted in a mastermind group so that I could get some feedback from my mentor, and she's like, "Don't even respond." I mean, we had a conversation about it. It was a learning lesson for everybody in the group, and got some feedback, and she's like, and it comes back to energy. Don't give your energy to it. When you think about it, send her love, send the family love, surround everybody with love, just see them happy, right? It's the same thing. And I did. I read it, sat with it, and then surrounded them with love and went about my day, and I slept well and it was okay. So,
Nice.
and we just face that kind of stuff when you do this kind of work. But
now I know.
Yeah. And it's like deflecting responsibility of their own behaviors and their own life and their own choices. They're deflecting that from themselves onto me. Now, as I'm talking about this, we've talked about this before, that when somebody is shining their light and somebody is, excuse me, and somebody is in misery, in their victim, they don't like the light, right? They can't handle it. Like there's like, oh no, you are too happy, you're too loving, we need to dim that so I can see you, so we can be in this misery together. So similar to the mother-daughter, we want our mom back. No, you don't want your mom back. You want what you're comfortable of with her, the comfortableness that you had with her. And now that she's changing, you don't know how to relate because she's now shining her light a little brighter and you don't know what to do with that. So that's, to me, also is what's kind of going on here. Like, I'm out, I'm happy, I'm enjoying my life, I'm helping people, and people who are in misery and can't resonate at that type of frequency. I'm not saying that I'm just like this like high vibrational frequency person, but I'm much higher than I used to be, for sure, which means I'm higher vibrational frequency than the people who are telling me to knock my shit off, which ain't gonna happen. Just so you know, ain't gonna happen. So you contact your lawyers, and we'll go through the 3-ring circus. It's not gonna happen though, because I'm a pretty good manifester, and I'm just gonna love you and send you on your way. So yeah, I got the power of the angels with me. So woo woo.
Woo woo. That's awesome. But it's true. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
And it's like when you make, so speaking to the audience, it's like when you begin making changes in your life, and you're feeling lighter because you're doing your healing processes, and you can, and I say shine your light. You're allowing the energy of your spirit to be more prominent, meaning you're in that loving space, you're in a kind space, you're in a compassionate space, you're in a joyful space, you're genuinely laughing and enjoying your life and doing things that light you up. That keep doing it. Don't stop because somebody says, oh, you're different and we can't have that, you need to change, right? No, you keep doing what feels good to you. And that's always my encouragement is if it feels good, genuinely feels good, lights you up, then do it. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. So don't be in the unhealthy relationships. Don't have the unhealthy conversations. Don't be the people pleaser, fixer, control freak. And don't rehash the same conversations that don't feel good over and over and over, right? Just excuse yourself, create the boundaries, say no. You take control of your time and managing your calendar instead of letting somebody else fill it in for you. Like all those things are nurturing and is self-love and taking care of you so that you can live the life that you want to live instead of living the life everybody else wants you to live and how they want you to live it. And I'm still
100%.
practicing this. I'm not saying I got it all together because a lot of the things that Bev and I talk about, we're still practicing these things too. It's just we've been practicing them for a little longer. That's why we come and talk, right? That's why we have these conversations to share what we're learning and experiencing and practicing, just like the writing and that 5 minutes in the morning and stuff. So
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So anyway, anything else before we wrap up? We're gonna keep it short this time. We're both tired. We got things to do and
I gotta eat still. I haven't even eaten
oh,
dinner yet, so.
okay. So Bev's belly's probably growling. She might be getting hangry and she's like, okay, I'm done with you people. I got to go. So
I love you all. Take care of yourselves.
I love you all and I need to eat like now. So I get that. So Bev, thank you for your time and energy for being here this evening and doing this. I know again, we both have fulfilling schedules, so we're doing what we can when we can. So
Thank you.
we I think we do this quite well together. So
We do.
anyway, friends, thank you for hanging out with us. Tea time with Amy and Bev. You could be anywhere with anyone or by yourself for sure. Instead, you're hanging out with us, listening to us. If you found anything beneficial, implement it. Just take one thing, make it simple. Just take one thing and implement it, and then incorporate something else. And if you find anything beneficial from our conversations, then please let your friends and family, coworkers, neighbors know. Have those conversations with them. Plant the seeds or share the videos or the content, and just make it a ripple effect to help the healing of we all need the healing. We just do. So so with that, do you have any final words, sister?
Thank you for everything, and everybody have a magical week.
Yeah, for sure. All right, my friends. Tea time with Amy and Bev. We'll see you next time.
Bye.